Hey, welcome to Living Yoga. My name is Darren Main, and today we're going to talk about a question that I get constantly as a yoga teacher, and that is, can an atheist practice yoga? So I get this question a lot because of yoga's roots and having some of the same basic historical roots as Hinduism and Buddhism and many of the other Indian-based religions. The short answer to the question is yes, atheists can practice yoga, but there's a little more to it than that, and that's what I'd like to look at. A friend of mine is an evangelical Christian, very conservative Christian. We tend not to agree on much of anything, but yet we get along really well just the same. And he once told me this story about his minister who was driving in traffic, and he came up to a stoplight, and the car in front of him had a bumper sticker that said, "Honk if you love Jesus." So he honked the horn and nothing. Next light came up and he pulled up alongside this. It was a woman, an older woman, an elderly woman, and he honked and waved at her and nothing. He thought, well, maybe she doesn't hear me. So he did it a third time, and he's smiling and waving and all excited to meet a fellow follower of Jesus, and she turned and gave him the finger. And this is the type of thing that really turns people off to religion and spirituality. It's sort of that rank hypocrisy that we see when people of faith drift out into the world. Luckily for us, yoga asks us to do just the opposite. It actually demands it of us, that we not just practice yoga on our mat, but that we practice it in life. And the things that yoga addresses for us as human beings are universal. So, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose in life? What happens when I die? What happened before I was born? What is my contribution to the world? These things are not things that are just discussed in church or in synagogue or in a temple. They are things that we wrestle with all the time. And we spend a lot of our time trying to push these uncomfortable questions away because they make us very uncomfortable. So when we think of yoga, yoga helps us to get at those questions. And if you're an atheist, you have those questions perhaps as much or more than the person who's going to church or to synagogue and having a priest or a rabbi or an imam answer those questions for you. Yoga asks you to answer them for yourself, which is a lot more challenging and a lot more unsettling at times. It's also important to note that yoga happens in the present moment. And one of the things I've noticed when I talk to students who are faithful, that go to church or synagogue or some other religious institution, is that they frequently have a belief that when they die, something happens. They go to heaven or they reincarnate or something like that. My atheist students typically don't have that belief. So they need to live more in the moment. If you think that you're going to see grandpa after you die in heaven, you're that much more likely not to speak your truth, to say what's on your mind, to live in the moment, to enjoy every single moment you can with that person. When we talk about a bucket list, the things we need to do, if you believe in reincarnation and you think I'm just going to come back in the next lifetime, it can be really easy to get complacent about that bucket list and to deny the fact that we have a limited amount of time to do these things that are really important to us. But yoga again and again reminds us to come back to the moment, come back to this breath, to this moment. And that is something that atheists in particular, and agnostics as well, are really adept at doing. They're actually better suited in some ways for yoga. So on the one hand, yoga helps people who are agnostic and atheists to wrestle with those universal questions. At the same time, they're better suited to dealing with those questions and living in the moment, because that is what a belief in finality offers us. A third thing that is offered, that yoga offers to atheists, is it doesn't require a belief in God. One can believe in God or not. If you are a person of faith, you may find that yoga helps enhance those beliefs. By getting quiet, you can get more reflective about your faith and go deeper into that well and draw on and reflect on the wisdom of the teachings of your personal faith. But that is by no means required. You can believe whatever you like. Yoga is a science, it is not a religion. In other words, when you do these techniques, they work every time. Just like apples falling out of apple trees and landing on Isaac Newton's head happen every time. Each time you focus on your breath, deepen your breath, bring awareness to your body, eat more consciously, interact with others in a more conscious and intentional way, the results are pretty easy to quantify. So you're not required to believe anything. So yoga, yes, it's perfectly suited regardless of your faith or lack of faith. And in my experience, the students who take my class who are atheist or agnostic or seriously questioning organized religion do perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, they excel in their yoga practice because of what yoga is and what it is not. It is a science. It is not a religion. If you enjoyed this conversation, I hope you will take a moment to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I hope you will visit our website, livingyogaseries.com, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you have a question you'd like me to address, right down below, you can put it in the comment section, or you can send me an email through the website. Look forward to chatting with you again.